Let me tell you, I mean, you may disagree with this, but had I been President Biden, when the Justice Department brought in indictments, I would have immediately pardoned him. I'd have pardoned President Trump. Why? Well, because it makes me, President Biden, the big guy, and the person I pardoned, the little guy.
And I do think that the most important principle in our judicial system is who's the big guy and who's the little guy. I think that's all over the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Me big, him small. Look, the political calculation that Mitt Romney laid out, maybe there's something to that. I don't think there is. But I love how much he, like so many in politics, just completely sidesteps like, these are laws that are violated. They don't even stop to gaze at the concept of law and order, or that there would be consequences for actions. It's all replaced by political calculations. Will this help me in the election? By the way, I don't even think that it would. Like, you look like the big guy to who? To who? That's not a rhetorical question, Mitt Romney. Feel free to come on the show. Who would see Biden as the big man? His base? Maybe a few. I think far, far more would be enraged that he had once again participated, as Democrats so often do, in helping Republicans to evade the consequences of their actions. They would feel betrayed. I know I would feel betrayed. Okay, so not them. The MAGA base? Oh yeah, no. The lizard reptile clone Joe Biden is all of a sudden the big guy because he let Trump off the hook. No. They'd watch 1 minute of Jesse Waters saying they had to let him off the hook because they had nothing. And they would consider him to be the little guy specifically because he didn't go after him. What I don't understand. What do you think the MAGA world likes about Trump? How fair and equitable he is? No, they like people who do whatever they can, damn the law. And Joe Biden would be doing the exact opposite of that. So the political calculation doesn't even make sense. And it's the least important part of this to me. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. And so let's talk a little bit more about Mitt Romney as he expands his theory.
I can also say, I think President Biden made an enormous error. He should have fought like crazy to keep this prosecution from going forward. It was a win-win for Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is exonerated.
Is that Joe Biden's job, or is that shouldn't there be a separation?
I've been around for a while. If LBJ had been president and he didn't want something like this to happen, he'd have been all over that prosecutor saying, you better not bring that forward or I'm gonna drive you out of office.
Again, he's having this conversation. The basic core concept of justice is 500 miles that way. He can't see it, he can't hear it, he ain't interested in it, okay? He should have done like LBJ. Damn the regulations, damn the law and the Constitution, damn the norms. Just get in there to protect a billionaire from the consequences of the crimes that he committed mostly in public. It also, by the way, just doesn't make sense. I know that he's the senator and I'm the guy in the t-shirt or whatever, but like maybe he's restricting himself to just one of the federal crimes, but they're not all federal crimes. Joe Biden, I guess he could have called up, I don't know, some of these like Fulton County DA, like he could have like berated them, but he can't end it. He can't snap his fingers and get rid of it. We do have a distinction between the federal and the state level prosecutions. There are some that he could potentially snap his fingers and get rid of. He didn't choose to do that. That fell to Eileen Cannon to do and the Supreme Court to do. It was still done, by the way. So why is Mitt Romney so frustrated? But in any event, many of them are state level concerns. And I don't even want to focus on that. I'm glad that Mitt Romney teed this up so that he can remind us all that he is, again, he's just one of these establishment guys that thinks that the system is designed to protect people like him. And Donald Trump might disagree with Mitt Romney on a lot, but he is very much the same sort of person as Mitt Romney. Class-wise, in terms of power and all of that, they're very similar people. For regular people, though, there was a point to all of this, and it's lost in Mitt Romney's commentary like so many things are. But he goes on to make the case that none of this is necessary because we all know who Donald Trump is. And I'm almost sympathetic to that, in that I've covered Donald Trump for what feels like 34 or so years. And we know a lot about him and how bad he is. But we can never underestimate that there are still people who come into politics and news every day. People who weren't paying attention, or maybe just the particular story hadn't yet hit that tells them what they need to know to understand something in a new light. And this is not just a hypothesis. There's actual evidence of this. Take a look at this chart. It shows views of various aspects of Trump's Manhattan trial over time. Okay, and you can see that if everybody already knew everything they need to know about Donald Trump, those should be flat lines, okay? But they're not. As we began the trial and as the testimony has happened, you have seen spikes in whether people agree with Trump, whether Trump falsified records, their approval of the indictment, whether Trump committed a crime, and whether the crime is serious enough to merit indictment or trial. You have a significant jump. I mean, for like whether the crime is serious enough to merit a trial, it's 10 points higher than it was. It's 30% higher than it was. Mitt Romney would say, all those people who learned something can screw off. You didn't need to learn nothing. It never should have happened. But I personally think it's good when people understand the nature of the politicians that they might be voting for or against. And let's look at some other polling. So if we compare May of this year with March of last year, basically from before all the trials, before Eugene Carroll, before all of that, more now say that Trump committed a crime than did when he was indicted. And you've seen a nice jump in both of those. And now in terms of whether Americans approve of the Trump indictment and trial, that has also gone up by double digits. And you would expect that it would. When you show people what the evidence is, you hear testimony from the witnesses, and when you take crime seriously, people take crime seriously. If you do what Mitt Romney wants and you just ignore it all and you sweep it under the rug so you can seem like the big man, then people won't pay attention to it. They won't take it seriously because you're not taking it seriously. And I think it is serious, okay? Let's go to this last video of Mitt Romney.
Choice will you make?
Yeah, I'm not announcing that here and now. I'm not going to be voting for President Trump. I made that clear. I know for some people, a character is not the #1 issue. It is for me. When someone has been, determined by a jury to have committed sexual assault, that's not someone who I want my kids and grandkids to see as president of the United States.
Yeah, but maybe he shouldn't have ever had that trial. Maybe someone powerful should have just pardoned him. Why should we have found out about any of that? Why should the jury have even weighed in? So he's okay with that one, but all the future ones, no. He literally is a case study unto himself on how you can learn more about a person thanks to the judicial process going forward, but no further. We're done with it. You don't get to find out about the classified documents. You don't get to find out about the fake electors. You don't get to find out about the coup or the hush money payments or anything like that. This far, but no farther, according to Mitt Romney. Well, look, I don't think that Donald Trump really cares if he gets your vote, but if he can use you having whatever influence you have to try to save him from the consequences of his actions, that's really the only thing that matters to him. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.